Smile. Okay, well, I guess this is it. This is the last day of my young, immature, right, high school years, and it's the beginning of my future, the first day of the rest of my life, and I'm gonna enjoy it a whole lot. And I can't wait till I go off to the University of Michigan. Hail to the victors, hail to the conquering heroes, hail to Michigan State, the best. Aisha, is there anything you would like to say to the camera? Michigan State. No. Michigan State. Wait, forget Michigan. That's why y'all lost. Hey, Miss Law! Oh, I'm sorry. Purposely taking a picture.
platform participants, to our parents, grandparents, and extended family members of the historic Millennium graduating class of the Detroit High School for the Fine and Performing Arts. It is indeed a joy to be here today. This has been a very special class, and I know that this year has been trying for many of the parents and students. I want to talk to some of the adults right now, because it's because of the adults you are here. I know some of the pains and some of the struggles that parents have endured over the years, and I know this year has been particularly difficult for some parents. And I know that in this class, somebody sitting in this audience, just being here at this commencement is a blessing in itself. I know some of the struggles even within the last 2 months, the plights of parents, some of the tragedies that they endure, and I know that somebody in this class and some family member of this class wasn't supposed to be here to see June 20th of the year 2000. I know some of you have gone through chemotherapy and radiation treatment, but you can look back and say, I'm here to see my baby graduate. The class of the Millennium 2000 is an awesome class. It's the end of the 20th century. The beginning of a new millennium. And this class has chosen as its theme, it's only the beginning. The first graduating class of the 21st century begins their new year of many in the life cycle. Each year, graduates, will be a different year. And each year will have its own triumphs and tragedies. Each year will bring its own joy and sorrows. No 2 years will ever be the same. And you probably have already discovered that walking through the halls of Detroit High School for the Fine and Performing Arts. Each year is different. But this year is different because this is the Millennium class of Detroit High School for the Fine and Performing Arts. The year 2000, no more teens, no more 1900s or 1800s. I'm going to take you, and I want you to listen because I do have a point leading up to the end of my welcoming address. And it's very important. I want you to think about the seriousness of this occasion. I want you to think about the seriousness of what you represent. I want you to think about the significance of this historic Millennium class. You are blessed. You are held responsible to move this country forward. And my fate and the fate of your parents and the adults present before you rests within your hands. So just for a moment, I'm going to take you through the annals of history. I'm going to take you back in time because we are representing the historic millennium, 2000. In the 1300s, remember I said there are no more teens. We're going back to the 1300s. The Hacienda was issued by the church. The Hacienda allowed the slave trade companies and countries to snatch human beings from one country and transport them to another country with the blessings of the church. That's what Hacienda means. It means to assent. The church blessed slavery. And I'm getting somewhere with this. The church gave its approval to slavery. That was the 1300s. In the 1400s, European countries began setting up countries in a world that existed for 500 years to the present. Those colonies began by Christopher Columbus. You know the story. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. You learned that in elementary school. That was the 1400s. In the 1500s, the Renaissance caused the proliferation of art and culture. People started seeing Michelangelo's and Leonardo da Vinci's works of Italian art displayed all over the world. That was the 1500s. In the 1600s, Africans were landed on Jamestown as indentured servants. About 1616, laws were on the books defining Africans as inferior. I'm getting somewhere. In 1671, the Virginia Assembly declared that Negroes should be listed alongside sheep, horses, and cattle. That was the 1600s. In the 1700s, this country broke away from England, talking about freedom while writing in its constitution the chattel of slavery. That was the 1700s. In the 1800s, Africans in the West were determined to be free. In 1806, English abolished the slave trade. Not slavery, but the slave trade. In 1808, the United States abolished the slave trade. Not slavery, but the international slave trade. In 1865, slavery officially came to an end. But in the 1900s, we saw Marcus Garvey, Adam Clayton Powell, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, Mahatma Gandhi, Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, Althea Gibson, Jackie Robinson, Barbara Jordan, Toni Morrison, Venus and Serena Williams, Ida B. Wells, Mary McLeod Bethune, Billie Holiday, Nancy Wilson, Luther Vandross, Cher, Lauryn Hill, Britney Spears, The Temptations, The Four Tops, Diana Ross and the Supremes, Smokey Robinson, We saw the Montgomery bus boycott. We saw the March on Selma. We saw the March on Washington. We saw the Million Man March. We saw Coleman A. Young elected as mayor of Detroit. We saw Bradley elected mayor of Los Angeles. We saw David Dinkins elected mayor of New York. All black men. And in large cities in the 1900s. In the 1900s, we were able to speak loudly and walk proudly to the words of James Weldon Johnson. We have come to a place for which our fathers sighed. But it was not all good. In the 1900s, we saw the founding of race hate groups. We saw major riots in major cities. We saw Hitler kill over 6 million Jews and 6 million Christians. In the 1900s, we saw the Scottsboro Boys killed. We saw the Emmett Till case and the Medgar Evers case. In the 1900s, we saw the Rodney King case and the O.J. Simpson case. We saw a man being dragged to death in Jasper, Texas in the 1900s. We saw a gay man beaten to death in the 1900s. It was not all good in the 1900s. In the 1900s, we saw the intimate details of the sex life of a sitting president. We saw drugs become the #1 destroyer of community and family in the 1900s. We saw prayer taken away from American schools in the 1900s. We saw street gangs take over huge chunks of American cities. We saw HIV and AIDS run rampant through our families. We saw the standards of decency lowered on television from an occasional damn or hell to everything imaginable and every word conceivable. The 1900s were not all good, but one good thing happened in the 1900s. From the beginning of this country, from the 1300s, the 1400s, the 1500s, the 1600s, the 1700s, the 1800s, and the 1900s, the graduates of the class of 2000 were born. In this class, the historic Millennium class will take away the evils of the world and replace them with good and greatness. In this class, future attorneys and doctors and musicians and actors and lawyers and leaders are born. In 1992, something else happened. The establishment of Detroit High School for the Fine and Performing Arts.
We've seen a lot in those 4 years. We've seen Raven go from rapper to reverend.
Sierra Cook. Marjorie Bam. Marjorie Beam, I'm sorry. Aisha Benson. Nora Bonner. Michelle Booker. Colin Kane. Samara Cunningham. Elaine DeRock. George Etheridge. Andre Anderson. Marcus Fleming. Charlena Hall. Crystal Hall. Jennifer Hall. Kanika Carver. Adrian Curley. Jewel Johnson. Scheherazade Berry. Jenny Florkowski. Ramon